Welcome to another edition of Your Impact Attack. That's right, it's Your Impact Attack right here in the morning. Wake up! It's a special morning edition. If you're not watching live, then you have no idea what we're talking about. But if you are, thank you, Xfinity, for your outages. I hopefully they won't have any outages when they start broadcasting SmackDown, and hopefully they don't have any outages on Peacock and everything like that. But for me, it was. So we're here. We're here now. And who are we? We are the VBC. And I'm the vet, Jamie Williams. My partner, Brandon, who I'm giving a tag, the hot tag right now. Boom. There it is. Brandon, how are you today? And thank you for your patience.
Doing well, man, and it's no issue. We got to find ways to work around stuff and make it happen.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we do. We don't take days off. We don't cancel shows. We move shows, but we don't cancel shows. How many recaps did we recap?
Oh man, yeah, that period from Bound for Glory up until the TNA relaunch. Oh shit, that era was horrible.
That's right. But don't worry, we're in a new era of TNA now, where lots of exciting and fun and stuff that has a point is happening, and we are here to talk about all of it, from the go home to Under Siege to whatever else. Fortunately, I would say, not a lot of news, not a lot of breaking news lately. I'm looking at the articles. I'm like, none of this means anything. This is all Mark bullshit. Um, what about you? Anything come across your desk?
Man, nothing really. I mean, I think the only real news that I noticed was the whole thing with Nick Khan selling off his shares. Oh, and there a few dirt sheets got butthurt over Triple H calling him out.
Oh, well, you want to talk about that? Because I don't have the particulars.
I don't really either. Apparently, like Triple H had said something about like Fightful and PW Insider not being credible, and they threw a fit over it. Like Sean Sapp, especially. Oh, damn that dude.
What did he do?
Oh man, he went on one of his narcissistic ego trips.
You think Triple H's DMs were just filling up?
Oh yeah, they're sliding in.
Yeesh. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess the less airtime they get, the better, right? Let's just move on from that.
Yeah.
That's between them. We don't talk about that kind of stuff here. That's always been my personal philosophy. Here at HMG, Hameen runs the show. He does things his way. He likes to talk about some of that stuff. Personally, I don't like giving dirt sheet guys the airtime. Even if it's to call them out, I just don't think it's worth it. If I figure the way I figure it is people want to know that stuff, they'll go look at it. I don't think they necessarily come to see us for that. So I always just try to leave it off, but hey, Triple H is the one inviting them. That is, I mean, I don't know if not him personally, but there was that whole thing. I like, why am I having to hear, like, if I'm listening to, I think it's Castrating the Marks, right? Where we have to hear this whole saga of Mike Johnson at WrestleMania, like whether he's invited to the press thing or whether he went home early because they didn't have his pass. It's like, I shouldn't know any of that. I'm annoyed that I know that, So it's like, get out of here. But anyway, so we got some unusual audience members here that don't maybe get a chance to hang out with us on Monday evenings, Monday nights. So happy to see everybody. We should acknowledge some of them. What do you think?
Let's see who we got in here. We got Canada Spaceman, Cold Blooded, Jerome Hall, Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass. See who else? Man, dear, how you guys doing? Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Whoop, whoop.
Yeet. And Liz just coming in under the radar there, the last minute, super low limbo bar, and she just shimmies right under. So, now that we've established that there's nothing worth talking about in the news, perhaps we should just get straight to business. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to rock and roll through, and as you will find out, it's not a lot of stuff.
No, not at all.
So we'll start with TNA Impact from, what was it, May 2nd? Is that where we're at?
May 2nd. Yep.
May 2nd. 5-2. Start off with our ketchup packet. Do we have a fresh ketchup packet here for visual aids? Oh, there it is. Dairy Queen. Nice. That goes good on your little blizzard. Just put the little ketchup on the Oreo cookie blizzard. So anyways, we got First Class is in the balcony seating. They're there to wait for Joe Hendry's apology later on in this show. So they'll be enjoying the festivities until then. But first on the list of festivities is Mustafa Ali versus Chris Bay. This was a match. It wasn't for the title, was it? I don't.
Oh, that's a good question. I think it was. Let me double check.
Let's double check on that, because I know everybody's just holding their breath waiting to know if the title was on the line. I'll spoil it for you. Bay didn't win. The Ultimate Finesser did not finesse his way to a title, whether it was on the line or not. So
it was non-title.
Non-title. And that would be rude too, because his partner, Ace Austin, has a shot at Under Siege. So if he was to just slide in and take that belt from him, I'd be like, hey, maybe that would be a good, that would have been a good way to continue the dissension storyline, right? But they didn't even take that option.
Yeah, or they could have done it too with later on in the show when Bay went over Trey Miguel for the not Bay, Ace Austin went over Trey Miguel for the number 1 contendership.
Right. I think we'll find that there are going to be a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of head-scratching moments here, especially with Under Siege. Maybe we could talk about it just very briefly now. I was watching Under Siege and I'm like, what do any of these matches have to do with anything that's been going on? Did you get that same general sense?
Yeah, like there were some matches that had been announced and had a little bit of build to it, and then there were a bunch of matches like, how the fuck this come about?
Right. Matches with people that had stuff with other people. Like, I'm like, so what are we waiting? Are we holding off for a bigger event than Under Siege to pay those things off? I don't know. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. But for this, it's Ali, so there's going to be shenanigans, right? He's got his Secret Service people, shenanigans. Did I catch a vertebreaker in there?
You did.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope it wasn't vertebroken. But Chris Bay goes up to the top to go for something. He gets tripped by one of the Secret Service guys, falls down, then Ali hits a 450, and there's your winner, Mustafa Ali. Did you have any thoughts on this particular matchup?
Other than it went too long and kind of was predictable.
It was predictable. I mean, we knew Chris Bay wasn't going to win. Although, if it was non-title, if he did win. But I heard that Ali doesn't do jobs. I heard that from one of those dirt sheet things. Maybe it was PW Insider or Fightful. But somebody's reporting that Ali is refusing to do jobs. What? Did you hear anything about this? I heard this. Is this true?
So, well, Chris Sabin's gone. Somebody's got to pick up the Goldberg 98 mantle there.
True. You got to have a small guy undefeated all the time, right? So, and he's got one up on Chris Bay because he's ethnic. Here's a guy that's not ethnic, Lars Fredrickson. This guy looks like he's fresh out of prison or a punk band. But he's going to be on commentary for our next matchup, which is Danny Luna versus Alicia Edwards with Masha in her corner. Would you believe there's shenanigans in this match too?
What?
Crazy shenanigans. There's shenanigans, and Masha just goes in and hits the snowplow on Danny Luna. It's just that easy, Brandon. Can you believe all the times that Masha Slamovich just lost to Danny Luna, and she could have just hit her finisher on her, like at any moment, like any given time? I don't know why she didn't think of that. Or did she just remember it, like just now? Like, oh yeah, I'll just hit out my finisher. Yeah. So
that is the very same Lars Fredrickson that is in Rancid.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic, Candace Spaceman. I'm glad that you're picking up on that with us, all the way from up there or in orbit. But yeah, so that means that Lish gets the win, and this is ahead of their tag team knockouts championship match at Under Siege. So, oh no, building momentum. It's that momentum. What would you think of a little momentum for this new sort of alliance with this loose alliance with Lish and Masha Slamovich?
I mean, it's all right and it makes sense, and I think it's a way to put more gold on the system, as we'll see later.
There you go. Another spoiler alert. Um, Sammy Callahan has a new segment, gimmick, DMTV. Um, I mean, I was fast forwarding this, so I don't know if it was any more coherent in regular speed or than it was in double the speed, but he's still doing this gimmick where he like controls the airwaves. So, I mean, that's nice, and it's got a little music now. What'd you think of this?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I mean, it looks like he's setting up the foundation of where he's going. We just don't know where it is yet, as far as story goes.
Better than a match, right? Hey, all right. So next is Alexander Hammerstone. He's just Hammerstone now, right? We can't have Josh Alexander and Alexander Hammerstone in the same company. So his name is Hammer Stone. First name Hammer, last name Stone, right? Yeah. And he's taking on Cody Deaner. I'm gonna shorten this greatly, but he basically turns this into a Sin City street fight because the people wanted it. Well, I'm a people. What about what I want? I didn't get a chance to vote on this. Maybe I should have watched it live. Maybe if I yelled loud enough. Oh, it wasn't live. It was still taped. I still couldn't have done anything about it. There's nothing we could do about it. Doesn't matter if we want it. I guess we don't count as a people, but it's a street fight. I just wrote down what WTF is on my notes. I don't remember exactly why I wrote that now, but I can imagine. I was just like, I was probably just watching this like, what? Like I have to watch Hammerstone sell for Cody Deaner. Like, I don't know. Short of him getting a gun and shooting him, I don't know why he would have to do that. But I'm watching it.
Yeah, this went way too long. Like Deaner should have gotten some hoping with the weapon shots, but Hammerstone should have killed him.
Yeah, it would have been nice to do like, just how about something to just show that everything he's doing is ineffective? Like if he like bends a cookie sheet or some other, phony little product over Hammerstone's head and Hammerstone just stands there and stares at him or, something like that and just let it end quickly, like very, very quickly. This was like a regular match and I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And beyond that, I don't know if anything, I didn't notice anything because again, I was just looking at this like, I probably missed most of it because my face was in my hand, but when apparently when we get to Under Siege, again, fast forwarding a little bit, Hammerstone's not available due to injury. So I certainly hope he didn't injure himself doing this phony bullshit. Because of all the guys that are worth a damn in this company, he's one of them, and now he's out for who knows how long. Hopefully, it's not serious, but anyway, after he does win, Jake Something runs out to prevent him from further beating on Deaner, and then they do like an atrocious pull apart. Like that part may have been worse than the actual match because there's a point where they just let Jake Something go and everybody else is still holding Hammerstone back and Jake Something just stands there like doing nothing. Like and then Hammerstone leaves, but you can't do the I'm a coward. I don't want to face the baby face and a pull apart. Like, what are you pulling him apart from? If he's trying to leave, shouldn't he like be taking the security guys up the ramp? What is anybody even doing here? What is this company? Who are these people? I'm Jerry Seinfeld now. Check out Unfrosted now on Netflix or don't. Brandon, what did you think when you were watching this?
That didn't make any sense whatsoever. Like nobody knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was I don't know. Canada Spaceman says Impact was great this week. I don't know. I worry. I worry sometimes. I worry about that guy. Can anybody go up to the space station and check on him? Is he getting this week's broadcast, or maybe he had like last week's? I don't know if there's like a space delay or something. So Dolph Ziggler, he's on a gurney, and he either has a hurt neck or a travel day, because he's gonna be in New Japan when Under Siege is supposed to be going on. So way to sync up your realities here, like saying that he can't make his match because he's injured, but he's gonna go defend a title in New Japan over the weekend. Good job, guys. Great job. Amazing angle.
Or how about knowing that he's not going to be there for that show and not booking him for the match?
Yeah, how about that? Well, don't worry. Broken Matt Hardy is there. Despite his name, he is healthy. He will sub in for Dolph. They make this official right over his prone body. Like, they don't even have to give some time to think about it. He's laying on the thing like, and they're making matches over his body. Like damn, we haven't even treated him yet before we're subbing him in. Like, this is Matt Hardy is he's a spot picker. So yeah,
a lot of weak necks.
A lot of weak necks in wrestling right now. He's got a worked weak neck, because he had 2 matches in New Japan. He had a match against Tanahashi and a match against David Finlay, so his neck looked okay in both of those. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So we're going to get Broken Ball Mountain, or whatever their stupid team name is going to be called, in the main event of Under Siege. So look forward to that. Now, when you were watching this, did you know that he was like double booked? Dolph was double booked for this?
I didn't. I thought something might have actually happened, and they were just kind of coming up with something, but I wasn't really sure that he was double booked. Yeah. That's a tough one to do, a double shot. You know, Albany, Japan. That's a tough one to do in one night.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of just, it makes me think, like you said, just maybe don't book the match. Because even when you book the match, it's not like you didn't know what his schedule was going to be. So doing an angle to get him out of the match is like, that's disrespectful to New Japan, because it's like, yeah, we're just going to, whatever, who cares? It's TNA. So Santino, in
WCW, in WCW, when guys went to Japan, they made that part of the story. In fact, that was the whole angle of that September 23rd, 1996 one, was the WCW guys are gone, NWO's taken over.
Yeah, see? I mean, you can use real world events to you don't have to come up with anything. It just exists. But anyway. All right, so Santino is cinematically welcoming Jonathan Gresham back. They sit down. They do a handshake, and Santino looks at his hand, and he's got ink all over it. He goes to try to wash it off. But on the way to the bathroom, he must have passed by Jonathan Gresham, who then goes to sit down across from Jonathan Gresham, and then the 2 Jonathan Greshams sit there, and I guess they have a meeting. We don't get to see what happened because that's where it ends. But I just wondered, like if we saw it, Santino must have seen him. He must have passed by. He should have done a double take, like, hey, I thought I just came from, but you, and how. But hey, this guy, it's very cinematic. Did you find it to be a riveting cinematic scene here?
My biggest takeaway from this is that Gresham needs to stay out of his wife's gym bag.
Oh, hey. Okay. All right. So AJ Francis does the intro for Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry comes out. He contextualizes his apology by doing unplugged variations of the songs that got us to this point. And then his new song is inspired by the song Higher by Creed, who we all love, and it's very relevant. Yeah, yes, that. Yeah, do you remember, do you happen to remember the lyrics to Joe Hendry's new song, which I don't know is available on iTunes and Spotify right now?
You please get fired.
Near. Yes, that's basically it. Yeah, so this is this is what Joe Hendry does. He makes parody music about his opponents, and I think this was fine. This was fine. This is a good parody of his opponent. What about you? Did you think it was a good parody of his opponent?
I did. It's kind of felt a little bit kind of like remember when the Rockies do the rock concerts?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that a little bit.
Yep. He's sitting in there. He's got an acoustic guitar, little spotlight. So he can strum a guitar, I guess. So that's nice. Yeah. All right. Anything else to add before we move on?
No, I mean it was entertaining and funny.
Okay. Systems on stage with Gia and no music underneath, except for their entrance music that they came out to, but that doesn't really count. So they all say something, and trust the Alicia says trust the system, so we're gonna trust the system. Any distrust of the system, or do you trust them?
Oh, I trust the system all the way. It's got Moose, trust it.
Yeah, trust Moose all the time. That's right. Just recently had a birthday. Happy birthday, Moose. If we didn't say it. Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin, as we discussed. This was the #1 contendership match for the X Division Championship against Ali, because one of these guys stuffed the ballot box and the other guy legitimately got the second most votes. So this is the runoff match, I guess is what they're gonna call it.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did that. Yeah.
Yep. So now this is how we have to deal with it. They got a match. What'd you think of the match?
It was all right. I mean, how many times have we seen these guys wrestle? What else can they do?
Good point. We've seen them wrestle so many times that I've forgotten how many times we've seen them wrestle. Yes, and Ace Austin goes over. So again, we could have done some intrigue there, where they keep teasing dissension between ABC, but
it could have had
don't really do anything with it.
Yeah, could have had something where Wentz tries to interfere, Bay tries to cut him off, that goes wrong, and Bay ends up screwing up and costs Ace.
Yep. But none of that. Next, we get a promo by the bald Canadian white guys with beards. That is I'm going to try to make that their official team name. I don't know if anybody has a problem with that. Sometimes you just like to have a name where you know what you're getting, like right up front. So I feel like that's the best name for them. There are also two guys that I've just sort of much like the emoji, I've just kind of, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can, these guys are both dead to me. They've ruined whatever legacy they might have had or been building since I've been watching them, so I'm kind of done with them. But they did a promo here. It seemed kind of generic. What'd you think?
Yeah, super generic, super boring. Just wasn't really much.
Yep. Now, in Josh Alexander's defense, he's never been exciting, but Eric Young has tried many things over his career, and he's settled into being the most boring version of himself that he's ever been somehow. The only exciting thing that he's done is almost die in that match with Frankie Kazarian, so that's not a good thing. Concierge lets Ash by Elegance into the I guess the abandoned balcony now. I guess AJ and the crew left. So open it up for Ash to take their seat. So she's going to watch our main event.
Should have seen him going after Joe Hendry.
They probably tried, but he's much faster than them.
Plus, he can teleport. That's all somebody has to do is just say his name.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure what happened was they went to go get him, and then someone somewhere else said his name, and then he just poof, right? That's probably it. So yeah. The main event. Miyu Yamashita versus Jordan Grace. Well, this was definitely not a lingerie pillow fight. There was a well, I'll let you go first. Did you have any thoughts or notes on this main event?
Man, why I don't get it. What was the point of this? Like, what did this accomplish? I mean, I guess
she was in town. She was in town. Let's just have a match.
I mean, I guess it's a win for Jordan.
It's a win for Jordan. I mean, didn't somebody take a gross apron bump in this? I feel like I remember that.
Possibly, I don't remember. I apologize.
And no apology necessary. After much hitting each other, it felt like Jordan just grabbed her and put the Grace Driver on out of nowhere and won the match. Is that what it felt like to you, or am I misremembering that?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Okay. So no psychology, but if you like the thing where people just hit each other a lot, like perhaps not quite at the level of like a Gunther Sheamus, but something in that vein, but with ladies. This is your match. And then afterwards, Steph DeLander hits the ring and Khan hits the ring, and then lights out, and then PCO makes a save, and baby faces up. Juggernauts and Frankensteins. Emoji.
And no heat going off the air into your pay-per-view.
Not really. Not really, no. But then again, with such a quick turnaround for these shows, it's like, do they even consider Under Siege? I mean, I guess they consider it like something like a pay-per-view, but it's certainly not one of like their, if you could call it premium. You couldn't call it that. It's like an In Your House, if you guys remember, when it was still called In Your House, and you might be able to win a house, and it was only 2 hours, and it cost $20. Like, maybe Under Siege is that, except you don't win a house. I don't know. It just, so like, I don't feel like the effort is going to really be there anyway, even at the best of times, because you don't really get a 3-week build. You just get like a couple of weeks, and then
if
they don't even put in the matches that they've been building. They sub out random opponents, and I'm not even talking about the subs like injury or Dolph going to be double booked or any of that. I'm just like, well, we'll get to it because that's coming up next. But before we do that, what were you about to say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Then before we get to Under Siege, perhaps this particular episode could have been punched up, kind of like Miyu versus Jordan.
Yeah,
we could do a kicking up Impact.
Yeah, we could have done something a little bit different with this.
All right, well, let's hear it.
All right, so we open it up with the recap and catch-up packet.
Oh, there it is, Dairy Queen. Meet me at the DQ.
And then you go to intro, pyro, and ballyhoo, and then we go to the balcony promo with First Class, same one that we got on the show. Then we go to the announce table where they run down the card for the tonight, talk about recent events and give their thoughts, and they throw it to the Impact Digital exclusive with Nick Nemeth, Speedball Mountain, Matt Hardy, and Santino. Same one that we saw on the show, and then we go to an in-ring with the System music and entrance. System promo and how the System already worked to eliminate Nick Nemeth from Under Siege and will work again to eliminate Matt Hardy tonight. Lights out. Spotlight on Matt Hardy in the crowd with Speedball Mountain. Matt Hardy promo on the System with Bailey and Speedball getting their words in. Spotlight off, lights on. Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain are gone. System grab weapons and head backstage before we go to our first commercial break.
All right. 2 notes. Number 1, can we change the Dolph Ziggler thing to where he just says, sorry, guys, I got to go to Japan?
Yes.
Can we? Okay, let's do that. And number 2, for all of our morning listeners who don't normally do this, you see my eyes closed. It's not because I'm sleeping. It's because it helps me visualize what Brandon is saying. So I usually close my eyes during this segment. It's not a sign of disrespect or sleep. It's just the way I'm able to take his words and put them into my understanding. So that's just go right ahead, Brandon. I'm with you.
Then we come backstage to the system. They are looking for Matt Hardy and breaking things with their weapons.
Ooh.
And then match number 1, X Division Championship, Mustafa Ali versus Chris Bay. Chris Bay music and entrance with Ace Austin. Mustafa Ali music and entrance with Secret Service. Condensed version of the match on the show. And then we get the vignette of Death Machine TV, same one we saw on the show. And then we go backstage with the system once again. They're still looking for Matt Hardy. And then they come across a display of action figures of themselves in a toy ring being beaten by Matt Hardy in Speedball Mountain. And Moose swings his weapon at the display before we go to our second commercial break.
Oh, so Moose hit his own action figure with the weapon? I hope this is not the new one that's coming from Powertown Toys. Pre-order now. Okay.
Yes, sir. And then, let's see. And then we go to our second commercial break, backstage promo, Josh Alexander and Eric Young, same one we got on the show. Match number 2, Danny Luna versus Alicia Edwards. Cut to commentary to show Lars Fredrickson. Danny Luna music and entrance with Jody Threat. Alicia music and entrance with Masha Slamovich. Same match on the show. Then go to the vignette with Gresham and Santino, same one we got on the show. And then we go backstage with the system. They continue to look for Matt Hardy, and then they find a display of 3 footballs that have the logos of 3 of the teams that Moose played for. Each football has either Moose, Eddie Edwards, or Brian Myers' name written on it, and Moose smashes that display with his weapon. Announcers hype Joe Hendry's apology for after the break, and we go to our third commercial break.
I bet Eddie's is on the Patriots football.
That would make a lot more sense. And then we go to our in-ring of Joe Hendry featuring First Class, and we get Joe Hendry music and entrance, same thing we got on the show. And then we go to a Decay vignette, talk about how they're offended they're not at Under Siege, so maybe they need to open the door to the Demon Realm and bring the event itself under siege.
Ooh, Demon Siege.
Match number 3, Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin. Trey Miguel music and entrance with Zachary Wentz. Ace Austin music and entrance with Chris Bay. Condensed version of the match we got on the show. We go back to backstage with the system, and they continue to look for Matt Hardy. And they find AI-generated art of Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain hunting wolves that are named Moose, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards, and Moose smashes the art. Before we go to our fourth commercial break, we come back with match number 4, Cody Deaner versus Alexander Hammerstone. Hammerstone music and entrance, Cody Deaner music and entrance, condensed version of pre-match promo, condensed version of the match on the show. Hang on, I'm just trying to get these comments in. Let's see. Okay, and then we go to a vignette of Crazy Steve. Says he wants Laredo Kid to experience significant loss. Says he's not going to take just the title, but his mask and identity. And then we go to our 5th match, knockout title match, Jordan Grace versus Miyu Yamashita. Concierge out to introduce Ash by Elegance in the balcony. Miyu Yamashita music and entrance, Jordan Grace music and entrance, condensed version of the match on the show. Post-match run-ins from Delander, Khan, and PCO. Announcers say that the system is on their way to the ring. Then they go backstage to see the system on their way headed to the ring, and then the camera catches Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain watching them. Commercial break number 5. We come back with a New Japan hype video. Go to the announce desk for the final hard sell for Under Siege. In-ring, system, Matt Hardy, Speedball Mountain. System music and entrance. System calls Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain out to the ring and stop the games. Lights out, lights on. Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain are in the ring with their own weapons, and the 2 teams brawl to close the show.
All right. You think if the lights go out, PCO gets confused and he shows up in the middle of all this? Or maybe Sammy Callahan just, huh? What?
That'd be funny.
Lights went out. Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
We thought that was our cue. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Just everybody who shows up when the lights go out just end up in there. Question for Chris Winland. How long before Moose finally drops the rest of the system? Maybe upgrades his posse. Plenty of WWE cast off to pick from who couldn't be more of a drag than Eddie Edwards. Well, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, Moose is friends with Eddie Edwards and these guys. Like, they all get along really well in real life. It was probably pitched to be the people that they are. And they were just like, I guess management didn't have a compelling enough reason to turn him down. Getting a bunch of people that were released from NXT isn't really going to spice it up anymore either. And you'd have to pay them more. That's the reason why we can't have a Demon Realm siege, because you have to pay a bunch of extras. Does it look like they have any money at TNA? No. So the lights keep going out.
Man,
obviously they're not even able to pay the electric bill on the buildings they rent. So,
man, remember they used to have a bunch of those dudes in the yellow raincoats for Violent by Design?
Yes. I'm sure they wish they had that money back. But yeah, nonetheless, yeah. We also got House of Black. Yeah, they could come in when the lights go out. I mean, just so I just
turn off the lights.
Turn off the lights. Hashtag turn off the lights, but not like that. I think they mistook my original hashtag campaign for something else that it does not mean or never meant to mean. They've been turning it off for the most part, but every once in a while they pop up and that gets really noticeable. But we can deal with that, I guess. More so than some of their booking decisions. So I guess that yeah, TNA should borrow some money from MLW. Oh, MLW is going to keep all that money. It's not going to go back into the show. 1 cent. They're still going to have those like interlocking preschool play mats on the outside of the ring. They're not going to upgrade one thing.
Hey, we just got a windfall of $20 million. Let's not put any of that into our company.
No, none. So, yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure that nobody would object to going directly to Under Siege. No, not the Steven Seagal movie. No, not Under Siege 2 Dark Territory.
Get me Erica Eleniak dancing topless, pal.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. Get me her. With consent, of course. But yes. So here we are at Under Siege. Brandon, were you able to partake in Under Siege this time?
Some of it. I think I saw like the first half in the Moose match.
Good enough. What about the kickoff? You see the kickoff?
I did not know.
Yeah, kickoff. I'm not talking about the Miyu Yamashita and Jordan Grace match. I'm talking about the pre-show where we had Rhino versus VSK. You guys remember VSK, or maybe you don't. He's a guy that has initials for a name. That's the thing. You can't have initials for a name. You cannot do that. Like, even Triple H, like, his name, when it came out on the screen, they would spell out the word triple and then one single H. Like, his first name was Triple.
Right, and what those three H's stood for would have already been established before he called himself Triple H.
Right, but even then, that was a long time ago. You got a bunch of indie guys. Like, if you ever watch the Ring of Honor shows, or back when they were doing the AEW Dark or Dark Elevations or whatever, there'll be so many guys that think they can just have 3 letters. We saw VSK this week. Didn't we see a couple weeks ago? Didn't we see LSG? Like, he's still doing that. Like, the only guy that can have that is MJF, but we know what his name is. No one knows what VSK is. No one knows what LSG is. No one knows what any of those guys that think they can be over with a 3-letter name is. You have to get your name over first, and like Triple H, like Hunter Hearst Helmsley, or like Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and then you could shorten it to the 3 letters. You cannot just come out here calling yourself a 3-letter name when 0 people know who you are.
Exactly. Couldn't say it any better.
Right. And Rhino gores him pretty quickly, so he gets the hell off our screen, as he should.
Bye.
Yeah. So there you Labrat says, "Hey guys, I'm late. Have we talked about PCO or Moose yet? We have talked about Moose. Actually, Punching Up Impact this week had a ton of Moose all over the show, way more than was actually on the episode. So, yes, we talked about PCO possibly being confused when the lights go out, and maybe he shows up in other people's, like Broken Matt or whatever, just because he doesn't know. So yeah."
You know what they needed? Ooh, I thought of something.
Okay.
Bring back the Hardy compound. PCO falls in the Lake of Reincarnation. Comes out as a Quebecer.
Ooh. Wow. No thanks. So
Amazing French Canadian.
AFC, is that your new is that your new name? Okay. Ace Austin is with Gia, no music underneath. He said he's gonna, even without Chris Bay, he's gonna make it 4 times X Division champion. This is a real life couple. They're the ones that's the couple, right? Ace and Gia?
Yes.
Is that them? Okay, just making sure. All right. Now we get the full-blooded Italians versus Batiri. I know you're saying who, and so was I. You remember when the Usos first came to the WWE and they had the face paint and the shorts and they were more islandish?
And they did the dance on it before they came to the ring?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did that. Remember that? Okay, now picture that, but like really, really, really small. And then you have these guys. It's basically what it was. And take the FBI that you're thinking of, not the actual Federal Bureau of Investigation, not the guys that, show up to the Nakatomi Plaza building to take over from the local police. But not even the guys that you remember from ECW, except one of them, but 2 other guys that you don't know or care about with Little Guido managing them. That's who it is. So you're saying there is, I'm saying they were small. They might have been not legally defined as little persons, but borderline. Much smaller than the Usos. Let's put it that way. If you left the Usos in the dryer, perhaps. So yeah.
Get me Pepper Necklace.
All right. Well, you can't have a pepper necklace, but you can get Burt Macklin, also FBI, but different. And Frankie Kazarian, who's a king. And they're going to get on the same page here. They're going to yell at each other and reluctantly get on the same page here. And then they're off. And then we get Casey Navarro versus Laredo Kid. I think for the Digital Media Championship, it doesn't matter. Casey Navarro doesn't win it. They do as a finish, they do top rope Spanish fly, no table. I did notice, like, it reminded me, I don't know if we talked about it when Eric Young got domed with the table and sliced his head open, when in that match of Frankie, but I don't even know if I brought up the point, aside from everything else that was wrong with that and sucked, was that Laredo Kid already did like a top rope Spanish fly as a finish in his match. That's like his thing. And then you just did this for a table spot and you almost died. So that was like 2 levels of wrong, but yeah. Anyway, this one goes much better. I mean, as much as flipping backwards and landing on a hard ring can go. And that's it. That's our pre-show. So successful defense for Laredo Kid. Now we're at our main card, which starts out with Burt Macklin and King Kazarian versus bald Canadian white guys with beards. Did you see
and
this
headgear?
And headgear. Did you catch this one? Obviously you did, because you knew they had headgear. Did you have any thoughts?
Why? Like, what did this accomplish?
Well, because
Like the predictable heels can't get along, so they're going to feud with each other. Why should we cheer for either one of them?
You're right. Damn it, you're right. Well, anyway, Eric Young hits a pile driver on Kazarian, so the king gets crowned upside down or something.
And it all crashes down.
All right, King Nothing defeated by Eric Young. Take that, Killer Kowalski's ghost. You've raised jabronis. Impulse is still available on streaming. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, the movie Impulse. If you want to go on Amazon Prime or Apple TV, catch Impulse. It's still there. I'm just letting you know because they let me know. Okay, now here's one of those matches where I was like, huh?
It is now.
Yeah. Yeah, not even that. Not even all that. White, bald Canadians with beards and headgear. It is a long title, but it is an accurate title. So it's Havoc versus Ash by Elegance. And right off the bat, I was like, I don't remember this. I don't remember this build. Should I have been watching BTI? Like, did they even do like the coffee machine, like bump into each other at the coffee machine to get this match or what? It just was like, normally the concierge goes into this long thing anytime Ash by Elegance has a match or something. And I don't remember seeing it. I could be wrong. Like I admit I'm not always like laser focused on all this stuff.
I think it happened on Explosion.
Did it?
I don't know.
We're trying. I mean, look. If you wanna correct us or find out or research it, that's fine. But yeah. So there's a part where the concierge wields holy water at Rosemary. He's got a little tiny bottle of holy water, like an eye drop, like if you had Visine, like it's like that size. And then he does the whole power of Christ compels you thing at her. And she takes it from him and she drinks it. And then like she spits up blood. So that was a cute little.
That got the biggest reaction in the entire match was that spot right there.
Well, yeah, because what else were they going to react to? Well, I'll tell you. Let's see how many ways they could screw this up. So Ash by Elegance is in the middle of getting suplexed and she turns it into a small package. That's maybe a spot you might do when your opponent doesn't outweigh you by 150 pounds. But for this, it's also a babyface spot. Like you counter a move with a technical pin. Like that's a babyface move, number one. It's something for people who are similar sizes to do, number two. And then, so Havoc is defeated and took no damage because she lost to this pin. So she now as a babyface, quote unquote, she's arguing with the referee that she shouldn't have gotten a 3 count. And while she's doing that, Ash goes and gets the garlic wreath that she had, like to protect herself from these demons, which I don't know if garlic only works on vampires. Maybe there's some demon stuff too. Liz would have to clarify this. But anyway, regardless of what kind of a being you are, potentially you can get choked by a wreath of garlic. So she's choking Havoc with the wreath of garlic and then hits her with a chair and beats the shit out of her with the chair. So she won and beat the shit out of her. Like, this would be the spot, which I already don't like the spot of, oh, well, you lose, but then you get your heat back at the end. No, you won with a babyface move. Then you beat up the babyface with gimmicks. And then you hit your finisher, which is a swanton off the top. Garlic does not keep demons away, for the record. All right. Well, I mean, she's a fat white girl, so I don't know. She's not really a demon. Maybe she's allergic. I don't know. The point is, whatever it was, she choked her with it, which is effective, apparently. And then So she does this. She hits her finish, which is a swanton off the top rope that she calls rarefied air. She lays a chair over Havoc first. So she does a swanton off the top rope onto the chair and gets up like, yeah. No selling. No, I just flipped over off the top rope and hit my back on a chair. She's fine. Absolutely perfectly fine. And then if that wasn't enough, for some reason, she drags Havoc out to the ramp and DDTs her on the ramp. What did Havoc do to somebody backstage? That I'm not her biggest fan or anything. I'm not a fan. I'm just in the middle. But like, what the fuck was any of this?
That was a straight burial.
Yes. We need that holy water back. We need to bless her final resting place. Under Siege 2024. Dude. What happened? Did they find out she was with Scott D'Amore, like in a consortium to buy the company? Like,
speaking of that, who haven't we seen on the show in how long?
Well, if you're referring to Giselle Shaw, then yeah. But look, this was all kinds of weird. But even if it wasn't like a political burial, like why would you? Everything I just laid out everything was wrong. It was completely wrong. I don't get it. I don't get who came up with this. I'd like to have a chit chat with this person or people. And one of these people should have said something. Like, if Havoc didn't know what she did, she should ask. Like, I'm sorry, do I have heat? Why do I have to lose and get a hellacious beating? Like, they beat her up worse than like a bloodline main event angle. It was crazy. And this match wasn't even supposed to happen. It had nothing to do with any storyline. So what the hell? I can't get off of this. Like, this is, trust me, and this is the most exciting thing on the whole show. So that's why we can spend a little more time on it, where I can kind of vent to you guys. But I'm just saying, like, wow. Anyway. So next is a Broken Mountain Ball with Gia and no music underneath. They all say stuff. Broken Matt says Broken Matt things. It seemed like Trent Seven was slightly trying to evoke a little brokenness. Mike Bailey doesn't have a personality, so he can't, but and his haircut doesn't let him like
bless him
do the Matt Hardy thing. It's
bless him, he tried.
Yeah, his mullet's not fluffy enough. It's kind of tight. So let's see. Ace Austin and Ali get dressed. Zachary Wentz versus Joe Hendry. Another match where I was like, did I miss? What did I miss? Why is this happening? Why is Joe Hendry in a match with Zachary Wentz? Shrug emoji? Yeah, I really don't know. Did you see this one?
I did. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it was all right because Wentz just bounced around until the standing O.
Pretty much.
I don't even know if he got an offensive move in, which is how it should be.
I remember how it happened. I was Hendry cut a promo, and then the entire time Wentz just kind of stood there, and then as soon as the bell rang, Wentz jumped him, went right to heat, and then it kind of went to the go home.
Yeah, pretty much. About what this should have been a TV match, like in terms of the way you always say condensed version.
Yeah, this is exactly what this was.
It doesn't get much more condensed than this. And why should he? Because how many iTunes charts is Zachary Wentz number 6 on? 0 charts is what I can say. Then we wait. Can anyone explain why Speedball uses Brass Monkey as the entrance music on the Indies? Doesn't fit his character at all. I don't know. I've never watched a Mike Bailey match. I wasn't absolutely forced to, so I didn't know. I'm not going to read Frank's comment, but it's funny. Package then. Masha Lisha versus Spitfire. with freaking Lars again. Like, this guy's traveling with them. Doesn't he have anything else to do, or is his band just on tour in these cities?
I guess from what it sounded like, apparently he and Jody known each other for about a couple decades.
That's great. So that doesn't answer my question. He should be too busy to be following them around as a fan, like, and a manager and a commentator, whatever. He goes to sit at the commentary table. So this match has a pretty basic story. You saw the match?
I did, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's got a pretty basic story. It's easy to understand, which you can't hardly say that for any other matches on this show. But this one did. The story is Alicia Edwards is scared and Masha is not. So she's going to try to make Masha do all the work and get these belts. And so she's able to get a lot of character work in, which is good because Alicia is not like, she's not exactly Bret Hart in there. So, maybe it's better that she plays up her character. It's more enjoyable anyway. So I liked that. And they bring Kendra into the match. Now, this part I didn't like. So, I think, okay, so it had to have been Danny Luna she was like out of the ring or something. I don't know. And the ref went to follow her out of the ring for no reason. Like, the ref went to follow Danny Luna, who went outside the ring, just so the ref could not see Alicia take Kendra and whack Jody Threat with it. Like, the only reason the referee was doing what she was doing was to not see this. So she hits her with the kendo stick, Kendra, and then Masha doesn't even hit a snowplow, hits like a sit out power bomb or like a sky high or some shit like that, and then Alicia Edwards tags in and gets a pin. Oh, it's a doctor bomb. Yeah, that's right. Same thing. And then she tags in Alicia who hits a pedigree, and then we have new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. So the odd couple gets it done. What'd you think of this?
I liked it. It was the right business, and it wasn't a bad match, and then told the story and got characters over.
Yes. They did fuck up that ending spot. They could have come up with a better distraction.
Yeah, and plus that pedigree looked pretty rough, especially in the setup.
That's fine. It doesn't have to look good. She's a tiny girl. So like, as a ref, what would you think, with your reffing experience, what would you think would be a better way to get to that, where you're trying to get the distraction?
Where the ref's trying to get the the illegal babyface back in their corner, and that's when Alicia swings the cane.
Yeah. It seems like it's pretty simple. I don't know why they couldn't get it, but maybe somebody messed up. Danny Luna may have messed it up. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all that matters is new champs. So there you go. Then we get a first class promo. They're moving past Joe Hendry, even though he got the last word. So I don't know why they would, but that's fine. And they think it's unjust for Rich Swann to have to face, or the Rich Homie Swann, let me say that, to face Jake Something, who is subbing out for the injured Hammerstone, which is, I was like, wait. So
it was supposed to be Something in Hammerstone, and then I think Rich Swann's supposed to get a digital media title shot, and then ended up switching to Jake Something, Rich Swann.
Right. So
I think Swann is mad he got pulled from his title match.
Okay. Well, the way AJ was saying the promo, he was spinning it to make it sound like he should be more upset that he prepared for somebody else, not that he was losing a title shot or whatever. So maybe they could go back to the drawing board on that kind of stuff and actually pay attention to what's going on. But regardless, Hammerstone's hurt. That's why he's not in the meat match. So we get Rich Swann instead.
Another meat match canceled from people being hurt.
Damn. these damn slabs of beef just can't stop ripping tendons and tearing ligaments or whatever from that shitty pull apart slash shitty street fight with Cody Deaner. Huh.
Giver.
Yeah. So we go right to that. It's Rich Swann versus Jake something. So the story of this match is, well, AJ Freitas is going to beat up Jake something when the ref's not looking too. So that's basically what they try to do here until it works until the ref catches AJ. And then Deaner comes out and then he does his thing about giving people a choice. He tries to, he goes way, way, way around, like the long way around to try to tie it into the match and make it make sense. And then he tries to fight Francis, but quickly gets dispatched as he should. And then eventually Rich Swann hits a frog splash on Jake something and wins the match. So you couldn't even clearly what this tells me is that Hammerstone was going to go over and they just needed to, they just gave his booking to Rich Swann, which is like, if you're switching the opponents in the match, why don't you just have something win to keep him strong for when Hammerstone comes back? Can somebody, as Todd Brantley would say, make it make sense. Can anybody just please? Why is it everyone's reaction in TNA specifically, but pro wrestling companies in general, instead of going for the simplest possible option or explanation, why do they go why when they're faced with an obstacle do they try to come up with the most convoluted solution that they possibly could to work around to it? Why isn't it just like, oh shit, Hammerstone got hurt. Well, we can get a good match out of Rich Swann, so let's put him in there. Let's get something over, and then we'll move on. No, instead you gotta have the 120-pound guy beat Jake something, even with help. Like, it was with help, but it wasn't supposed to happen, so it doesn't matter. Rich Swann doesn't need that. He needs I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I mean, they should be doing I don't know what they're thinking. I really, that company's a mess right now.
Labrad says Swann is not doing the favors for a man with no last name. Well, I can't argue with that. I'm all turned around the subject. They did the right thing. Thanks, Labrad. All right. Now, here was a match that I wasn't really expecting and was not advertised whatsoever, but once it came up, I was like, all right, well, this has the potential to be the match of the show because I like both these guys. And that is Kushida against Jonathan Gresham, or as I can call him now because of what he's doing, Dark Octopus. Jonathan Gresham. Yeah. So now I have somebody I can call Dark on all three of my shows. I'm excited. So right off the bat, did you see this match?
I think this was like the last match I got a chance to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before the Moose match.
There's only 3 other ones, including the Moose match. So you saw most of it. So Gresham starts off the match by coughing. Like, he's coughing, but it's like, it's not realistic. It's like he's theatrically coughing. So I don't really like that. I would rather he just make it more subtle at first and then get worse, but instead he just starts like, like I'm coughing. Hey, everybody, I'm coughing. Dark coughing. What's his favorite Pokemon? Coughing. Yeah, that. So, yeah. And then I looked at my timer, as the match was going on, and just like clockwork, 5 minutes in, he's sweating. So I'm really, I continue to be concerned about Jonathan Gresham beyond his new dark transformation. I think he's really got to worry about his heart there.
Dude,
but anyway,
I was straight up getting you remember the Batman and Robin '96? Does he remind you a little bit of Bane?
Batman or Robin, The movie with
Yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
yeah, that one.
Oh. Yeah, maybe. Yes? Well, no. Well, no. Well, he didn't wear a hat and trench coat, so no. Um, but yeah. I kind of like I liked the idea other than it's ridiculous. I think that it would have worked better if there wasn't such a phony cinematic backstory to a guy that we've already established, right? Like, if he came into a company with this, right, it would be kind of like a fresh start. And then you get to know him this way, but like, to me, it just, it's pushing it too, the gimmick is pushing it way too far. I can't fully buy into it. It's I'll give him that it's interesting, and I can't say I've ever seen it done before exactly like this. Um and his mask looks cool. Like, the look is cool. His gear, as usual, impeccable. Like, I always like his ring jackets and his boots and everything. Like, the design of everything Jonathan Gresham's got going on. I like all of that. It's just the phoniness of the premise is what I can't get past, but he's trying. And I wish I could like watch this match with Jonathan Gresham and discuss some of the things that happen in it. But I mean, the finish comes when he spits ink into his hand, like he coughs it up. He hacks up a glob of ink into his hand, and then he muffles Kushida's face with it, and then kind of pins him the way Mankind used to do with the mandible claw. I don't know why the referee could just stare at this directly, all of it, and just count it like normal. You would think it would be like some kind of a disqualification or something, like, hey, you can't smear poison into a guy's face, ring the bell. But he just counts the pin like, yeah, there you go. So then afterwards, Kushida starts hacking up ink. And then the referee, very phony and theatrically, also calls for help. And two security guys come and help Kushida to the back. It didn't look as good as I'm making it sound, and I don't think I'm really making it sound that good. So there was a lot of intrigue here. Ultimately, I ended up disappointed, but I don't know. What about you, Brandon? What do you think of it? What do you make of all this?
I'm with Lab Brad. I thought that was very unsanitary where there's exchanging body fluids like that.
I mean, there's lots of unsanitary things about it. But hey. Todd Brantley says, because Gresham is from Atlanta and not overseas, it's not considered a foreign object. Oh. That's true. But this isn't WCW either, so we don't have to worry about international objects. Hey, but you know what? I've been highly negative on this, all of this stuff so far, so I'm going to give 2 thumbs up for Jonathan Gresham's ring gear. Lovely mask, great jacket, cool boots, neat trunks. S+. Okay, so this is where you check out. We get another package, and then we get Steph DeLander and Khan versus Grace and PCO. Jordan Grace gets the honor of charging up the nipples with the car battery. But ultimately Steph does the she tries to use her feminine wiles on PCO again. They don't work on PCO. Quite frankly, they don't work on me either. And Grace hits the Grace driver or the Juggernaut driver or whatever driver. She hits Made in Japan on Steph. So fuck you, Steph DeLander. And again, I think this probably would have been Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander, right?
Most likely, yeah.
Grace
and it probably would have been Cardona taking the pin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was PCO, so Lab Rat was happy. Then we get a package, and then we get. Is it weird that I think Steph is kind of hot? Yes. Uh, no, Todd. You like whatever you want. I know she's not your new number one, but you know, you can like her if you want. It's next is Ace Austin versus Mustafa Ali for the X Division title. Yada yada yada. Secret Service shenanigans lead into a 450 splash. Mustafa Ali ain't doing no jobs. So, sorry, Ace. Maybe next time, kid. Maybe you'll get your fourth time next time. Yeah. And then we get another package, and then we get the System versus the Mountain. It's another 6-man tag. We've seen the System have a really great 6-man tag. This wasn't that. This was much less Moose. I mean, everybody worked pretty hard. Speaking of saying nice things, I mean, Matt Hardy didn't look like absolute trash like he has in the last 10, 15 matches I've seen him in from AEW or whatever. He actually looked healthy in there. I mean, he still looks unhealthy, but you know what I mean. He looks healthier than he had. He's moving okay, all things considered, considering he's Matt Hardy. So I thought that was nice. Moose is, well, come on. Obviously, Moose.
He's Moose.
He's Moose. Like, kidding me? Moose. He's Moose. Everybody else is who they are. Matt fucking sits on Moose through a table. I think he thinks it's a leg drop, but he sat on him. That's what it was. He did the flying have a seat on Moose through a table. And while everybody's busy with that, the other two guys hit the backpack stunner into top rope elbow combo on Trent. And the System once again wins. Trust the System. They now have pretty much all the gold, right?
Yep.
I mean, not all of it, but everyone has gold in the System now. Gold.
Indeed. They got all that gold.
That's it. So, they say trust the System, and apparently we'd be fools not to. What'd you think of this?
It was an all right match. I mean, I wish there was kind of something on the line with it, or there was, a little bit more going into it. Other than that, it was fine.
Pride is on the line. Yeah. But we got Moose in the main event, so I can't really complain. And you could say well, he's in all these 6-man main events. But A, this isn't like a real pay-per-view. B, it's they're showing the System as a unit, really working together. Instead of just having a bunch of guys stand around and say they're together, like an LWO or any of these other useless factions out there that make no sense. The System is working together, doing things together, supporting each other, showing up to be ringside in each other's matches and things like that. They really do feel like a main event unit, as much as you can feel main event in a rinky-dink promotion like this. But so I will take that, begrudgingly. I will just, again, look at the positive here. I'll say that about the System. At least they feel like a real, actual team of people who are being a team of people.
Yeah, my only complaint with them is I wish we would have had more of a story build to them coming together.
Yeah. They just, the story is we're just doing this now.
Yeah, they just came together. They just appeared together. Hard to kill. Hey, we're a team now. Let's go.
Yeah. Canada Spaceman says if Ed is still hurt, the Dark Order is not taking over. We don't have to worry about them because we have a Dark Octopus. Yeah, Dark Order tried to see. You notice how I don't say the Dark with the Batman voice, when I'm talking about the Dark Order, they just get a regular Dark Order because they're not dark. They're just indie goofballs. And they have an octopus logo thing, right? You know, if you want to be considered dark, you got to turn heel, you know? And they don't know what they are. So, F them.
Yeah, pal.
He said the Dark Order isn't a thing anymore. Oh, yes, they are. They still are. You're just not watching the programs that they're on, and bless you for that. But they are absolutely. If you want to watch Ring of Honor this week, you can see the Dark Order in action. But they're not dark. They're only dark. Did I ever tell you guys that when they did that Join the Dark Order thing, I joined it? It took them forever to email me back, and I didn't get anything. I'm just in it. That's it. I don't get like a commemorative badge or like a little certificate or like.
You didn't even get a lousy t-shirt.
I didn't get a lousy t-shirt. I didn't get a Dairy Queen ketchup packet. I didn't get anything for that. They just said, you're in. Like, very not stringent hiring process, but it took forever. It took like 8 months or something. It's just ridiculous. Technically, I'm still in the Dark Order, but, you know, just don't tell anybody, okay? Because they're not dark. Not dark like Jonathan Grisham. Anyway, that's our show. That's Under Siege. You know, there was some couple good things and a lot of bad things. We'd like to thank you for joining us in a weird time, an unusual time. Apologize, even though it wasn't my fault. It's never my fault, except... Nope, never my fault.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm going to... Don't make me kick a baby into the audience now. It wasn't my fault, all right? So, but yeah. So we're happy to do a makeup. Never canceled, only postponed. Impact Attack is there for you guys, just like you're there for us. So we appreciate you all. And we should get on out of here and let you go on about the rest of your day. I hope it's a great one. Brandon, you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Yes, you can catch me on Twitter, or as the kids call it these days, the X at Transarchustia. I am also still trying to figure out what I want to do with my Twitch channel, but at the moment it is twitch.tv/Miss Tia the Transarchus. And you can also catch me on Substack at HMG Brandon. And I am also doing watch-alongs throughout the week over here on HMG YouTube channel. So be on the lookout for those whenever we go live with them.
All right. Maybe you could do a dark Twitch channel. Think about that.
That'd be cool. Unfortunately, not tonight. I have to work.
That's all right. We'll take care of everything for you on Wednesday morning. Big Ray and I will do that for you. So that I guess that just leads into me at Opinion Haver on all social media platforms, and the Next Level Wrestling Review every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, internet permitting, with Big Ray Hernandez. We will talk about NXT, and we can talk, and we all know who's the women's champion of NXT. That's Dark Roxanne. Hey, wait a minute. Can we say, what about, you think X is a heel turn? Can we say Dark X? Because Twitter was kind of like the baby face, the little cute blue bird and everything. And then
maybe
Elon Musk comes in, it's Dark X. Yeah, maybe. Well, it's not important. We can hash that out later. You can catch me every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, for The Wreckage with Jimmy T. Even though there was no collision, we still sifted through wreckage for 2+ hours on Sunday. So check that out, channelattitude.com if you missed it. But if you want to join us live, like I said, every Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Then you can catch Wrestling with Rick Rogers every Friday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's a good time for podcasting live, really. 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. I don't know what it is about that time, but it seems to be a good time. It's a concrete time for Wrestling with Rick Rogers. You can go do a live Q&A, ask Rip a question. You just might get it answered. It probably won't be the answer that you're looking for, but it might get answered. So it's worth a shot. And then, you know, you can check out all his territory stories. And then what else we got? We got Stevie Richards retooling the Patreon, showing you what kind of curriculum he's thinking up for his wrestling series. He's going to try to continue that. It's not going to be able to be free on YouTube anymore because of reasons, but you go to his Patreon, support him. He's consolidating all the tiers down into like a $3. So no matter what, you get everything for the $3 tier. So if you're interested in that, check that out. If you still want free stuff from Stevie, like the freeloaders that you are, you can definitely check out his fitness channel, which is doing exercise equipment reviews and, you know, other tips and things. And if you want even more stuff for free, you can go check out the Big Fitness Show with Big Mike Barons, which is a weekly podcast they do, and they tell you things from how to get more sleep to how to get your how to align your goals and put those in order. And of course, you've got you know, his wife starting different channels and stuff and things, and there's just so much going on with Stevie Richards. We really can't talk about it all. So that is just about it. And if you want, I'll probably be jumping on Twitch myself, dark Twitch, right after this. So give me a couple of minutes, and then go to twitch.tv/opinionaver and hang out with me some more if you like. If not, have a great rest of your day. For Brandon, I'm the vet, and I don't have a sign-off line.